Good Saturday morning, and welcome to another exciting edition of Outdoors with Larry Ray on 790 The Bet. Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency, B&M Poles, and Ducks Unlimited. Now, here's your host, Larry Ray.
Hey, good Saturday morning. Welcome to Outdoors with Larry Ray on this Saturday morning, February the 8th. Hard to believe, folks. I think it's supposed to be 76 today and 48 tomorrow. I hope you can handle it because we're going to get back to real life next week as we have regular temperatures and not this crazy stuff that we've been having. But it is second Saturday, and you know he's over there right now, Mr. B&M. He's got on his B&M shirt, and he probably got some Ole Miss someplace. I don't want to know where that might be. But Ron Wong is here. Good morning, Ron.
Hey, good morning, Larry. Good morning, everybody.
Back from the Grizzly Jig, man.
Oh, yeah. And, of course, it is fake spring month.
It is, isn't it?
That's what they call it here in the South.
Okay.
Fake spring.
Okay, I'm writing that down.
Yeah,
Fake spring. All right. And we've had 76 today, 59 Friday, 71 Thursday. And then we have the man himself, Guy Trebo.
Hey, good morning.
Blah, 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 blah. Hey, baby.
Come on, man.
Yeah, come on, man. Yeah, Guy Trebo, our webmaster for LarryRay.com, and Ron has supplied you with a bunch of photographs from the Grizzly Jig Show.
Yeah.
You should be getting them.
They're already up.
They're
up.
probably already up.
Way to go.
Knowing our man, Guy.
Woo. All right.
I was on it.
Yeah.
You're up. Put it on there last night.
Well, I saw some of Ron's even got some pictures of him for the first time.
People were grabbing my camera and says, wait a minute, you need to be in some of these.
You and Jack Wells and you and some young man. I don't know who that was, but
that was Lane Smith.
Oh, that's Lane Smith. Okay, that's Jeff Smith's son.
That's right.
Oh, that's the way.
Good kid.
Okay, well, they're all posted then, I'm assuming, according to
they're up.
Mr. Webmaster. But Ron was up there last weekend, and I was seeing Ron, 29 different states represented.
That's right.
Amazing. I don't know, attendance-wise, we're gonna talk a lot about that on today's show because we got some special guests coming up. We're going to touch a lot of bases today. Ron's helped me fill in with a couple of slots, and one of them's about National Professional Fishing League, talking about it, and it's really made great.
It's made big strides
since 2021. That's right.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah, and they've got 6 tournaments coming up this year, and I know that one of them's coming up in early March, and we're going to talk to Paul Benson about that. He's the vice president of that league, and kind of talk to him. But we're going to talk about the National Bird Dog Championships. It's coming up. Starts Monday at Ames Plantation. The first brace, I think, is at 8 o'clock. Tonight at 7 o'clock at Bryan Hall at Ames Plantation, right out there near LaGrange, Tennessee, Grand Junction, Tennessee. They're going to draw for the braces, what they call them, the pairings, 4 dogs a day. And get this, folks, 56 dogs are listed. 56 dogs. Now, I can remember when we were in the 20s and 30s, but with 56 dogs at 4 dogs a day without a weather delay, we're talking about the third week in February out there at Ames Plantation. And I know they got a lot of things going as a UT Ag Center. They do so much spring planting and all like that. But there's 56 dogs. And we're going to talk to Matt Backus. He is the director of the Ames Plantation UT field office out there about having 56 dogs enter. Wow. So we'll talk to Matt. We're also going to talk to Billy Ross Doyle, because Billy will be one of our speakers at the boat show next weekend. That's next weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. He's going to be one of our seminar speakers. Of course, you get folks know him from the Wolf River fishing and also crawl cane, right, Ron?
Oh, yeah, and also he fished the National Professional Fishing League.
Yes.
Tournament trail at one time before he got sick.
Yeah, we're going to talk about Billy has overcome some really health issues, and pretty amazing. He's back out there. No one knows the Wolf River like Billy does. I know that, but we're going to talk to Billy a little bit about that, and we're going to talk also with our good friend Richard Hines. about duck bands. The duck season has officially closed.
Almost.
Well, yes, almost. I need to
Juvenile hunt today.
Young sportsman hunt. And the
Oh,
senior,
never mind. Yeah.
And the senior hunt is tomorrow.
Yeah.
But we're going to wrap up the season next week with kind of some special guests in studio on the phone. We're going to have the legendary Pat Pitt and his son Stephen on next week's show. Not only is he a great taxidermist and a cook and things like that, but he just completed his 62nd year of duck hunting. But anyway, Richard Hines out of Kentucky. Ron knows Richard. He's a member of the Tennessee Outdoor Writers Association. He's done a story for Mossy Oak in the Gamekeepers magazine about duck bands. Now, I have to admit, I have one duck band, and I meant to bring it to the show this morning, but I left it at home in the scurry to get here because I'd had a rough time at the physical therapist this week at Ortho South. Thank you, Austin. You're doing a great job on my body. He said, you might pull some muscles. I said, when I pull a muscle, it's a party. I didn't know I had any muscles, He's finding some new ones and everything like that. But we're going to have a lot of fun on today's show. The fastest, what do we call it?
90 minutes in outdoor radio.
That's right. Fastest 90 minutes in outdoor radio programming. There's so much going on in the Mid-South. We appreciate our sponsors, Ducks Unlimited. And we'll talk to some folks from Ducks Unlimited next because John Gordon is back in the studio.
Oh, great.
He's travels and all the things with DU Nation and everything else. John will be in the studio, and so will, of course, the FM voice of East Arkansas, Frank Barton. Frank will be in next week to talk about that. And B&M Poles, and I know that Ron was rubbing shoulders with a lot of B&M Poles folks up there.
A lot of them there in Crothersville, the Grizzly Jig Show.
Yes, yeah.
And, talking about that, Larry, just a heads up on everybody.
What?
Mark your calendar, February 22nd.
Uh-huh.
Bass Pro Shops, whether it's out on Sycamore View or the Pyramid, they will be having seminars sponsored by B&M.
All right.
At both stores, at the Sycamore View store.
The existing store.
They will have Chandler Lambert there.
Uh-huh.
He's out of Hernando, Mississippi, knows the I-55 lakes real well.
We're breaking news here.
And also, Ronnie Capps, 9-time world champion.
Yes.
Ronnie Capps and Steve Coleman will be at the Pyramid doing a seminar at 11 o'clock and 2 o'clock on the 22nd. And, oh, by the way, all these stores are going to have some specials on some B&M poles.
All right.
And they're going to increase their selection of poles that they normally carry.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll be talking about that for sure on next week's show and the following week's show when Ron gets back in here. And that's at the existing store on Macon Road out there. And then, of course, the Bass Pro at the Pyramid.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Ron. And I know they got a big thing coming up. First in March is the big catfish tournament's coming. Isn't it, Ron? Something pretty close to that, isn't it?
No.
When is that coming up? Isn't there a catfish tournament coming up pretty soon?
There was one that was already held on.
I thought there was another one coming. Ron knows all of that.
All right, David Magnus is doing. We're going to have to get David on here.
He's
also a B&M pro.
Yeah, we got to get David on here.
But I'll get him on.
All right,
and we'll talk about his trail.
Work on that. But And Guy.
Yeah.
We try to update this. If you're going to get news from the Mid-South, whether it's fishing reports, let's see, we got, of course, we're going to get Ron's in just a second. Shelby, be sure and let me know the 2-minute warning here for Ron so we can get that.
I only get 2 minutes today.
You always do 2 minutes. You don't realize that, but you do the best in 2 minutes. But we'll give you 3 maybe. Give me 3 minutes, Shelby. But I know that we have Steve McAdams. We got his in there. We get any kind of fishing report, we can put them on LarryRay.com. You just want to get them to me, lroutdoors@att.net. But we've got all the fishing reports. We do a lot of the TWRA fishing reports. We do the Arkansas Game and Fish fishing report. A lot of those things we try to keep up with fishing reports. So we got those, and I know Steve just sent me in one yesterday, and I'll get that to you. It's a real short one because I think he's getting ready to wrap up the waterfowl season. And
we have a permanent link to his.
Okay, permanent link.
So every time he puts something new on there, it's available.
We'll get it on there. All right, let's give here it is, Ron. You got 3 minutes here. The Mid-South Fishing Report, but he has no notes over there. He's got a good, nice-looking red and white pen. Go with it, Ron.
Hey, good morning, everybody. I got to tell you something. Pickwick Lake is hot. They just recently wrapped up a MLF Toyota Series tournament there.
Yep.
It took all 80 pounds.
I heard that.
Wait a minute. Think about 80 pounds. All right.
Is that 3
15
days?
fish.
Is that?
All right. What does that
That's 3 days.
equate to?
Yeah.
3-day
6 pounds.
tournament. 3 days.
Well, 80 pounds.
That's a 3-day tournament.
Yeah.
On the first day of the tournament, Thursday, it took 20 pounds. It took 20 pounds to get in the top 24.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Okay, that's 1 minute.
That's
in your
huge.
report.
Okay.
All right,
But anyway, the way to catch them there,
what?
several ways. One is to work with the shell bars, and the shallower shell bars. In the river, they're using a mooch minnow or a any kind of a soft jerk bait with a 1/4 ounce jig head, and that's using forward facing sonar. And also a umbrella rig using 2.5 inch and 3.25 inch rage tail swim baits. That'll work over those shell bars also, and also along the bluff banks of the at Pickwick Lake. The crappie are biting good on Pickwick also. Got a great report of people catching crappie 15 to 18 feet deep over deeper water around brush piles.
Yes.
And they're dropping in crappie magnets in the Mardi Gras color with an eighth ounce pink eye-hole jig.
Okay. He can do it, and I want to throw in there real quickly in Ron's time because Ron has got us a nice young guest. I want to talk to Jason Cook. We're going to talk to him, Ron, too.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. He's with John Harrison, isn't he, Ron?
Yeah, he's a guide for John Harrison.
Yeah, we're going to find all about that with Jason Cook coming up later, too. Let's take our first break of the morning, and then we're going to the Crow King guy. He's coming up. Billy Doyle on Outdoors with Larry Ray.
Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray, brought to you by the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency, B&M Poles, and Ducks Unlimited.
Hey, good Saturday morning. Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray. We talk outdoors every Saturday morning right here on AM 790 in Memphis from 9 to 10:30. Of course, you good folks in Brownsville on 1520 AM and 95.3 FM from 6 to 7:30, and in Jackson from 6:30 to 8. On News Talk 101.5. And we got a big event coming up next weekend. I really don't know how many years, but I know it's over 40 that we've had the Mid-South Sports and Boat Show way back in the old days. Ron Wong, and I know Guy probably remembers too, those John Bondurant shows out at the Mid-South Coliseum.
Yeah.
Those were great times out there. Well, we're back with the Lovell family next weekend at the Boat Show. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and you can go to LarryRay.com. We got some information on that, but we're going to have a lot of good seminars, and the seminars are all part of your ticket to next weekend boat show at the Agri Center. And we've got one of the seminar speakers on the line, and we've got another seminar speaker sitting in the room this morning. So let's talk about that. But I know Ron, and I know that you think a lot of this young man. He's still a young man to me.
Yes, he is.
He's letting me hunt on his land. He's taking me in the Wolf River fishing. And things.
He's younger than both of us.
Yeah, no, almost combined. No.
Yeah.
But it's going to be so good to hear this man's voice and know that he's doing what he loves to do, and that's fishing on the Wolf River. And then
he might
speaking
be
next
there
weekend,
right now.
I think he's there right now, and that's our good friend Billy Doyle. Hey, Billy, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Larry and Ron. Good morning from the Wolf River bottom.
Anybody knows the Wolf River bottom? It's Billy Ross Doyle, right? I mean,
yeah. Well, I probably got a lot. I got a lot of airtime down here.
Yeah, you do. And I don't know, Billy. You're going to be speaking at the boat show next weekend on Saturday. I got Billy at noon on February the 15th. You'll be able to hear Billy. He's going to talk a lot about a product. You know, we're going to talk fishing here in a few minutes with Billy about the Wolf River and things along that line. But Billy has had a product that has stood the test of time. I know you can go out to David Best's place out there in Arlington and get you some crawl cane. But I got to ask, Billy, and a lot of people have asked me about the name itself, Billy. Did that just come to you? I mean, is this fish attracted? How did that name come about?
Well, we're going back some years now.
I know it. I know it.
When I was working with Buck Gardner,
yes,
doing a lot of Walmart seminars and a lot of calling on Walmarts, there was a product that hit the market for the deer hunter called deer cane.
There was.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
That's a long time ago.
I said, if that guy knew anything about more business or needing more business, he could come up with a fishing product.
And we did.
Well, he did and I did. Yes,
you
sir.
did. That's right. Yeah, you did. Yeah.
I did, and I've had it on the market quite a few years. I got a lot of loyal customers.
You sure do.
I get new customers every other day.
Yeah.
The Bassmaster Elite, I don't know if how much you keep up with it, but
we keep up.
Oh, we
with
do,
them.
don't we? Yeah.
Last year, the Japanese boy,
yes,
he introduced the fishing world to a dry powdered fish attractor.
Yeah.
Taco Ito.
Taco Ito, yeah.
Ito, yes,
Yeah.
sir. So,
Yeah.
I know.
I have to say that I had the first dry powder for fish attractors on the market. I got that cornered. So
yes, you do. Yeah.
I was the first one to come out with that. So we're going to talk about that at the seminar, and I'm going to show some people how it works and
yes,
how do you use it, how you put it in the bag of plastics, and the deal is to put it in that bag and forget about it till you get ready to go fishing. And if you got time,
yeah,
you can lay that bag out in the sunlight, like on the dash of your truck.
Yeah.
Or even while you're fishing this sunny, lay it out in the boat and let that sun heat that plastic up.
Oh, okay.
And, let me tell you, crappie fishermen, take note of this particular product here.
Yeah.
Because, number one, in a lot of the crappie baits that are out on the market today, one, they don't have any salt in it. Certainly, they do not have any scent to it whatsoever. And so if you go and cook, like Billy would say,
yeah,
your plastics, and that's just pouring some crawl cane into your bag, you crappie fishermen, you're going to do two things to help you catch more fish.
What?
And that's to add salt,
yeah,
and also an attractant.
yes, yes, and
made out of real crawfish too, right, Billy?
Yes, I'm using real crawfish, and they're freeze dried and pulverized till powder.
Wow. And of course, Billy, this name has been there, the crawl cane label. Billy, I know that we got to ask you. You've had so many people praying for you, Billy, and you've had some health issues, and I know you've been on my list for a long, long time, and you know that too because we're pretty close to keeping up with Billy. But talk about how you doing, Billy. How you feeling?
Well, I had December the 5th, I had the third procedure done on my heart.
Yes.
And this one seems to be working. So I went back to my heart doctor last week, and my heart's still in rhythm.
Wow,
so
great.
I've got the AFib behind me, I hope.
Yes.
And,
yeah.
I'm getting my strength back, and I feel like doing a little fishing. So we came down here a couple of days ago and smacked them pretty good. So coming back down here this morning and catching some more.
Well, talk about that love of the Wolf River, Billy. Where's that come from?
Well, back in 1980, I had an elderly gentleman in Somerville that he got to asking me would I go with him on Sunday afternoons. He'd gotten up in age and didn't want to fish by himself.
I know how that is. Yeah.
He started taking me on Sunday afternoons, and there was only like 10 people that was fishing this body of water.
Uh-huh.
He was one of them, and I just fell in love with it, and I hadn't let up since.
You haven't, because what makes it that special place for? What is it about the Wolf River to you?
Man, I just as soon to come down here and catch one bass to go to Pickwick and catch 100.
Well, first of all, the scenery,
Oh,
the serenity,
yes.
and also the wildlife and everything that goes along with swampy areas and everything else.
I got places that I think the only time they see a bait is when I throw it.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And to
But
be
That's hard to find this time of day.
Oh yeah, and particularly as Ron was talking about the scenery. Of course, we've all heard the stories of the Ghost River and all these different kind of things, but there's a lot of species of fish in there, right? I mean,
yeah.
Well, what are some species that we can think of when you're going out there?
Well, I'm basically bass fishing, trying to catch a largemouth and a spotted bass.
Spotted bass, okay, yeah.
Yep.
We also catch a bunch of chain pickerel.
Yes, you do.
Hey, they catch some big ones too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean they fight just like a bass.
Yeah.
So what's the biggest largemouth you've caught in the Wolf River, Billy?
I caught one in January. I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago. Ice was around the trees. I caught one that weighed 11.4.
Golly,
They're there.
How about that, Ron?
That's huge.
Yeah,
that's huge anywhere you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they've got some good brim in there, crappie. They've got some Gasper goose in there.
Gasper goose, yeah.
Well, hey, I have crappie fish down here, and I have caught a sauger in the Wolf River.
Oh, I have too. Yeah.
Have you really?
Yes.
Yes.
How does that get in the Wolf River?
I guess he swam up from Memphis.
I guess it did. Yeah.
Well, they're in the Mississippi River too.
Well, that's true. Yeah, that's
the
true.
sauger are in the Mississippi River. So
again, we're talking to Billy Doyle, our good friend, Wolf River Fishing, Carl Kane, and Billy again. Like Ron Wong, will be out there as a seminar speaker at the boat show coming up on Saturday, February the 15th. Billy be at noon, and right after him will be Ron Wong. And
all
so
right.
we're going to have the battle of seminar speakers right here. But so what you're going to be talking? You're going to talk a little Carl Kane, is that right? You're going to talk a little Wolf River for us too?
Oh yeah, I'll be able to hopefully answer any questions anybody got about this place. And there's so many people that it's an adventure to come.
It is an adventure, yeah.
Yeah.
You got to know what you're doing now, Billy.
Now, Billy, are there any public accesses
Good
to
question.
the Wolf River now?
Well, this Ghost River section, the only access is at Bateman Road.
Bateman
Yeah,
Road,
right.
Yeah. Okay.
So you've got to work a little bit to get up there where it opens up into the swamp.
Yeah, you're going to have to probably get out of your vessel and pull it over a couple of shoals to get to where you're talking about.
Oh, he goes under limbs and over limbs. I've been with Billy before. Come on.
Oh,
now.
yeah, but
Well,
there at Bateman Road, where he's talking about, you've got to go through some really shallow water.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do, and you've got to watch what you're doing so you won't tear up your equipment.
Yep.
Yes, right. But what about winter on the Ghost River? I mean, you're out there today. Of course, winter's been kind of goofy. 76 on. It's going to be 76 today out there, and tomorrow it's going to be 48. So what's prime time? You got a couple.
Wintertime fishing is my favorite down here for catching these big bass. I missed it this year. I mean, I didn't like coming, and
you had an excuse.
And heel.
Yeah.
But last week, when I came down here a couple of days ago, it was I caught some doing the same kind of technique that I catch them on in the wintertime, and of course the fish doesn't move shallow, but it was still the same technique. But I did catch one last week. It was close to 6 pounds.
There you go.
That's a big one.
All right, Billy Doyle. Now, if people want to get some more information about Crow King and Wolf River fishing, where are they going to get it? Ron Wong always tells me that. So,
well, you can find me on Facebook.
Yes, Billy Ross Doyle. All right, Billy Doyle.
F.Y. Wilson. But probably reach out to me on Facebook and send me a message.
All right, just go to me too, lroutdoors@att.net.
And you can go to S.Y. Wilson.
Yes, you go to David Best and the folks
or
out there.
Pyramid there to get you some craw cane.
Yep. All right, Billy, we got to go, buddy. We'll see you next Saturday at the boat show,
We'll
Billy.
see you there, buddy.
Stay cool, buddy. All right.
I'll be there.
Thank you, Billy. All right, let's take a break on Outdoors with Larry Ray. Be right back as we switch on out to Ames Plantation.
Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray, brought to you by the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency, B&M Poles, and Ducks Unlimited.
Hey, good Saturday morning. Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray, as we talk outdoors every Saturday morning as we roll into our 25th year on the air. And that's just a short hop. when you think about 126 National Bird Dog Championships, which blows my mind. And I'll never forget my first one. Henry Reynolds just said, "Go out there and be yourself." Well, I went out there and I was lost, man. You know, I kept looking for the horse in front of Kroger. But they're getting ready to roll out Saturday night, tonight. They're going to announce the pairings, or the braces, as they call them at Ames Plantation. And then Monday, the first brace Monday morning will kick off, I think, about 8. But we've got the director of the UT Agricultural Center at Ames Plantation, and that's Matt Backus. Good morning, Matt.
Good morning, Larry. How are you?
Let's talk, Matt. You're going to be a busy man. 56 dogs. Now, we don't know. Maybe some scratches tonight at Bryan Hall. We don't really know that. But you'll announce your pairings tonight. 56 this year, 29 last year. So before we get into what it means to put on this amazing event, talk about why we have more dogs this year than last year, Matt.
This past summer, the board of directors eased the standards of qualification for these dogs to get in. Previously, you had to have 2 wins in one of about 70 qualifying events, and we swapped that to 1 win or 2 placements.
And so we end up with 56. Now, I don't know what that compares with your historians out there. I've heard we've had some 40s and before, but I don't know. Is this close to the record? Or are we?
This is the most dogs ever nominated.
That's what I thought. Yeah. Well, and lucky you, your second year you get to do this. I don't know if everybody's giving you advice, Matt. I'm sure that you're hearing all the advice to pull this thing off. But with 4 dogs each day, and we know, well, we hope not, but there's a chance of weather delays. And we're going to get some finally average temperatures next week, which is cold and things like that. But it could go into the 3rd week, right? I mean,
yes, sir. It's just a math problem at this point, Larry. We're Tuesday of the 3rd week without any delays.
All right,
yes,
Tuesday the 3rd week without any delays. We'll talk about the event itself. I know you got some great judges. Rich Robertson, a good friend of ours out of Idaho. Greg Bain out of Moulton, Alabama. Bill Mason out of Moundsville, Alabama are your judges. And as I've always said, it goes by the Amesian standard, which is Hobart Ames. Style, stamina, and the ability to locate Quavies quail. Am I close?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's it, isn't it? I mean, that's the key. So what's the bird situation?
The birds are out there. They weathered the winter as well as one could hope. And we've been feeding pretty religiously every 10 to 14 days. Actually got done Thursday afternoon with this first round, and these competitors will probably be seeing fresh tractor tracks during the course of the national, because we'll be feeding during, whatever course they're not running, we'll be on it feeding ever so often.
And I know that when we have this many dogs, the most ever, and it's not only going to tax the judges who are going to be in the saddle a whole lot, and the reporter and everything else. And you do have people come out there and ride and watch. I've done that before, and I have not ridden because everybody knows I can't ride a horse, but I don't want to be the first one buried out there. But you do have the spectators are out there, and I know President's Day, I can't imagine what it's like on President's Day.
If we get bluebird skies on President's Day, I would expect a pretty record crowd.
And a record crowd. Folks, get this. Now, I remember Mr. Kyle used to count the horses and tell me all the time when I was covering it for the Commercial Appeal, and he would tell me how many spectators were out there. And I asked Mr. Kyle, how did you determine this, Mr. Kyle? And he'd say, well, I'd just get the horses and divide their legs by 4. And I would come up with how many horses were out there. But you can have over 500 horses, I guess, can't you, Matt? Sometime, or 250 or something like that, crowds?
Ever since COVID, it's kind of waned just a little bit. On a good day, you might have 100.
Okay. It's still a sight to see, right? I mean,
yes, sir. It is.
It's still a sight to see. And you're familiar with this, and I'm looking at this with 54 horses. 51 dogs, and I see we got some setters. We got some setters out there. But I'm looking at Mark McLean. Now, he won last year.
Sir.
And he's got 7 dogs in this year.
He does.
That's amazing. I mean, I know that may be a record, but then again, we got so many dogs, and here's Mark with his dog, but I don't see his dog's name on it that won last year. I guess he's not in it then, right?
No, sir. It sustained an injury leading up to the national, and I decided not to run it this year.
Okay. But I do know that I'm looking at past champions here. When I used all my ink this morning, getting the names of all the dogs because so many pages and everything. But I do see that we do have some past champion. There's Miller's Blindsider, Jamie Daniels' dog from 2023. There's Miller's Speed Dial, Randy Anderson from 2020, and I think there may be another one in there. I'm looking here. Maybe those are the only three, I guess, that are former champions. I don't know if you've had a chance to look at that, but what does it tax the handlers themselves, Matt, to have 7 dogs?
I'd say Mr. McLean's going to have to invest in a few cough drops. And,
yes, he will.
bottles of water by the end of it.
Because there's a lot of yelling, folks. I just hope you go to Ames Plantation. What's that website again, Matt? It's
amesplantation.org.
And are we going to be able to keep up and follow? Are you going to have somebody posting that the events daily? I'm assuming you will, won't you?
Yes, sir. We'll post twice to the website with a daily synopsis, or a brace-by-brace synopsis, and on the Facebook page a little bit quicker than that.
What about logistics for you folks out there? What you have to call everybody? It's a team effort, isn't it? I mean, Matt, volunteers, whatever. Talk about what it takes to put on this thing.
Well, it takes an army. We have
an army, okay,
an army network of volunteers ranging from Hickory Valley all the way through Brownsville, and just doing different things. And they've been doing it for so long, it's almost that turnkey. They just show up and ask, "What can I do? Anything changed?" And here we go.
And security, you got all those folks doing that. And Ron Wong, we've got to go out there someday. I mean, because the food they will be serving in Bryan Hall, won't they, Matt? I mean.
Yes, sir. Every day.
Every day.
We should try to go out one day.
I'm telling you, the food's worth it out there.
Sounds good to me.
And I know that. Do you still run the truck or something for us lame people? I mean, can I get? You got somebody I can ride with?
Yes,
me
sir.
too.
Yeah.
The road gallery is very, very prevalent.
It is.
Especially in the mornings where you've got a few more road crossings.
Yeah,
but there are quite a few people that ride around and try to catch some action from the road.
When they're coming across the road, whatever it might be. And I've always said, Matt, and you've been out there, how long you on, this is your second try, right? This is your second year. I mean.
Yes, sir.
And so you know what's going on, but it's the logistics of this thing. Just to make sure that everything runs smoothly. And this is an event, folks, that it doesn't work from 8 to 5, right, Matt? I mean, this is all-consuming. Does everything kind of stand still at Ames? And talk about what Ames is for our listeners out there.
It does. It sure stands still for not just the 2 or 3 weeks that we run the trial, but leading up to it, all the prep work on the courses, mowing and blocking and feeding and putting all our signs up, keeping all our spectators and competitors safe. And
the horses are they cannot go over 10 miles an hour. I think what it is. I'm not sure. They got horse signs out there. Speed limits and I'll let security.
We're not in Germantown.
No, that's true. Now, I live in Germantown. I've realized that and everything. But so this event itself, all go tonight, Saturday night at Bryan Hall. We'll start about 7. Are we still ping-ponging it, Matt? Are we still doing it the same way of the braces?
This is to be determined. If you tune into our Facebook Live, we'll be streaming live from Bryan Hall. You can see how we might be doing things a little different this year.
Because you got 56 dogs now. So
yes, sir.
I mean, that's
get in a headache in a hurry trying to keep everybody straight.
Yeah, and you've got certain dogs that may have to scratch if you have they have to have compatibility in the pairings, right? And a lot of folks don't understand that, but the look and stuff. So go to AmesPlantation.org. You can get a list of all the dogs that are entered, and this is what I call, and I'm sure Matt, you knew this before all your career that you've worked for UT and whatever, but this is a Super Bowl of this sport, right, Matt? I mean,
yes, sir. This is the penultimate event for all age bird dogs.
And you'll have people, I just not all the handlers, but I only got a couple of minutes. You got people coming from all over the United States, right? I mean, with dogs that are entered. Have you figured out how many states are represented here?
Not yet. That's something I was working on.
Okay.
In between this and going to Bryan Hall, so we can make that announcement.
Well,
this evening, so.
Okay. Well, Matt, we appreciate it, buddy, for taking time this busy week. I'm going to try to get another segment on next week and the following week too. We're going to try to keep up with the folks, but we'll have LarryRay.com. Me and Ron Wong are going to try to get out there, take some pictures and things like that. But I know I'll be there when they announce the champion. We're not changing that, are we, Matt? We're still going to be on the steps of Ames Manor, right? So
we'll be on the steps of the big house. Yes,
and
sir.
that is, folks, that's an amazing event. I've done that since 1988. I've only missed 1 year, and that was last year because of my cancer. But I'll see you out there, Matt. We pray that all goes well, Matt Backus, okay?
We sure appreciate you, Larry.
All right, thank you, buddy. Have a great one. We'll see you, all right?
See you.
All right, let's take a break on Outdoors with Larry Ray. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray, brought to you by the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency, B&M Poles, and Ducks Unlimited.
Hey, good Saturday morning. Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray, right here in Memphis every Saturday morning from 9 to 10:30. Shelby McCall is our show producer as we head into our 25th year on the air. In-studio guest today, of course, is my sidekick here, Guy Trebo. He is the webmaster for LarryRay.com. Be sure and go to our website if you're interested in being a sponsor. Information, whatever it is, Ron, Guy keeps that going. And then, of course, this is second Saturday, so Ron Wong is over there all decked out in his fishing outfit. And, Ron, you got a special guest coming in that we're going to lean on him for future guest, as we celebrate our 25th anniversary this year. So why don't you introduce this next guy, Ron?
Thank you, Larry, and good morning, everybody. Yeah, our next guest is a vice president at the National Professional Fishing League. We've had him on the show before. He has also a tackle company, rep company that he works for and is a big part of. Our friend, Paul Benson. Good morning, Paul.
Good morning, Ron and Larry. Appreciate you all having me on.
Well, listen, I got to tell you something.
Yeah.
Larry says, hey, can you get somebody on? I says, we haven't talked to Paul since, it's been 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, since the
league
league started.
But I've gotten so interested now into the National Professional Fishing League and where you guys started and where you are today.
Yeah.
And, I mean, today you're almost having to tell people they can't get into the tournament, right?
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah, we're excited to be in our 5th year of competition, and looking forward to getting 2025 kicked off in a few short weeks here with Clarendon County and the Santee Cooper chain of lakes.
Yeah, that kicks it off March 6th through the 8th for the league, and I have a little trouble sometimes getting words together, Paul, and if I do it mistake and call you the National Professional Football League, don't worry about it, okay? I mean,
well, that's why there's 2 reasons we added the "the."
Yes,
so
right.
The bulk there's a contingency of us that are from the Ohio State.
Yeah, okay.
Area.
Yeah. I knew that was coming, Paul.
Fans of the Ohio State University, but also when it came to like choosing a web domain and things of that nature.
Yeah.
Right.
Our friends at the Nigerian Professional Football League had the NPFL all locked up.
Are you
So
serious?
we had to enunciate and add the D to make sure that we got everything we needed on the interwebs and all that stuff.
I don't think
Yeah.
we've ever had Nigerian mentioned on this show in 25 years. We just
First time.
worked it in. But Ron,
Now-
let's get Paul Rowan. Go, Ron.
Paul, talk a little bit about the National Professional League.
Yeah.
How many tournaments do you fish, and how is it set up? And
Yeah.
of course, you got the first tournament coming up here in a couple of weeks
March 6th and 8th.
at
yeah.
Santee Cooper. It's what is it? A 4-day tournament, 3-day tournament?
3-day.
We fish 3 days, no cup.
All right. Well, that's going to take at least 80 pounds to win that thing.
Oh, yeah.
3 days.
Uh,
It may be 100.
So talk about what the setup then, Paul. That's what he's asking you, because I think you have a certain number. You got 6 tournaments, but you kind of broken them up: 2 spring, 2 summer, and 2 fall. So talk about the setup for the league itself.
Yeah, we try to keep space in between. These anglers are traveling a bunch.
Yeah, these are
like the
working
guys
guys.
that are-
Yeah, a lot of
the
them.
guys that are fishing multiple leagues, the elite guys. I've
Yeah.
talked to 3 or 4 in the last couple of days, and they kick off in North Carolina, fish with us at the Santee event, and then run a 3rd straight week at Lake Hartwell for their
Wow.
trip. So they're
Yeah.
going to be about a month out of touch with their family, but we try to space our events out a minimum of 4 weeks apart. We run 6 regular season events,
Okay.
and then a no entry fee championship, which the 2025 championship, which is for the 2024 season. We'll be announcing dates on that probably in the next week. It's
All
it's
right.
in October, and it's at Lake Hartwell. We had already announced the venue.
Right.
Those folks that qualified in the 2024 season will be allowed to use forward-facing sonar in that event. And it will be in October at Lake Hartwell. So we run 6 regular season events and one no entry fee championship each year. Try to keep them spaced out where these guys that have jobs and families can focus on, the important stuff in life and have enough time in between events to maintain a quality of life, that they're not making giant sacrifices just for bass fishing.
That's right. And, Paul, one of the big changes this year for the National Professional Fishing League is in one of your rules, no FFS, forward-facing sonar, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We banned forward-facing sonar at the end of last year. Made that announcement.
Right.
Yes, you did. You stirred
we
a lot of
act-
feathers, Paul. So we want to know how's that been accepted?
Well, it like anything else, and my whole take on the forward-facing sonar is this: you get about 20% of the contingency of the. I'll refer to industry, but when I say industry, I mean consumers and bank
Right.
anglers
Yeah.
and
Yes.
everyone else as well. But
Yeah.
about 20% just despise forward-facing sonar. 20% absolutely love it. And that 60% in the middle, they say, we don't care. Just tell us the rules and we'll go.
That would be
fishing.
me.
Yeah, that's Ron. Yeah, that's Ron.
Yeah, so
And those are
we
good
were,
analytics.
Yeah.
we were in a different position than the other 2 organizations, as we did not have any electronics monetary sponsorship
Yeah.
when we made the decision.
That's good. Yeah.
And I am glad to say that we secured a new electronic sponsor. I won't go into details because there's press releases being written up on that
Good.
now.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
I'll
All
let
right.
those folks put it out to the world. But they came to us and said, hey, we like the fact that you just made a decision. You didn't
Yes.
tiptoe around it. You made
You
a
didn't.
decision, and
Yeah.
we want to support you there. So
And everybody's still going to have some type of using electronics on their boat. Well, and again, a lot of people all they're wanting is the basic graph to see where they're going, how deep is it, and what kind of bottom I got, and that's it. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
And so there'll always be a market for that. And to me, I think it's a great decision. One of the things that I found very interesting also was some of the crossover that you're getting. Scott Suggs was just mentioned. I think he just joined the National Professional Fishing League, that he'll be fishing all of your tournaments this year. James Watson.
Oh, yeah.
My buddy James Watson.
Yeah.
I got to tell you something.
Yeah.
He'll be a great voice for you guys, too.
Yeah, James has been a good partner of ours in the past and a good advocate of ours since we started. He's good, real good friends with Big Al McCullough. I've been friends with James for probably close to 10 or 15 years now.
Yeah.
Sponsored him with some manufacturers I worked with previously, and he's a good advocate for fishing.
Absolutely.
You know, one of the things we love is he will tell you what he thinks and where he stands. He does not pull punches in that, and that kind of fits our mold pretty well. But I'm excited to have a lot of good friends joining the league this year, and we've also got some young anglers.
Yeah, you do.
You know, some very qualified forward-facing sonar anglers. There's a young pro named Tyler Williams, who had some extreme success last year on the Elite Series, and he kind of has put it out publicly. He's coming over just to prove to folks he can flip a jig, and he's not just solely electronics based.
And you've
KJ
also
Queen, Brandon Cobb. We got a lot.
You got some young ones.
I've
looked at that list, and one of the things that attracted Paul, you're going to pay some good money. I mean, this is an opportunity when you have just 118 anglers in the field, and you got you're going to have live coverage. Talk about the event itself, because $100,000 you got as prizes. Big one, $250,000 for the championship. Talk about the event itself, because you're gonna really make a splash.
Well,
this year.
and you know he's going to have weigh-ins.
Weigh-ins too. Yeah, talk about that, Paul.
So we do a full trailered weigh-in at every event.
Love it.
Full field fishes all 3 days. So these guys, we bump the fish in. We bump the fish in the boat for fish care, and these guys get to pull the truck and the boat through, and it brings back the wraps and a little showmanship for all 3 days of the event.
Yeah.
It's a 3-day event, 5-fish limit. You know, pretty standardized as far as the weigh-ins go. The weigh-ins are a pretty good show. We have a huge turnout of anglers who hang around and participate after they're done weighing in.
Yes.
So I encourage folks to come out and see it in person. I know I believe Ron's been to one of our events over there at Pickwick.
Yeah. I'm going to try to get some this year too.
Yeah.
Great. We try to make it a show, and we try to make it very inclusive. You know, we've had instances where anglers have had kids from the campground where they're staying come in, and the anglers throw them in the boat and bring them up on stage. Very family oriented. Lots of kids coming up on stage. Lots of wives in the boat. We had one particular instance. I believe it was last year, early in the year. One of our anglers, Justin Kimmel, who you may know from the industry. Justin does a lot of good stuff in the fishing industry.
Yeah.
Been around for a long time. But Justin's boat tore up, and he was off getting his boat fixed. Well, he had his wife and daughter weigh his fish in for him. So, you know, just some interesting things like that. You know, it's a very family-oriented, inclusive type event, and the guys, when they show up, are very relaxed, very approachable, and even when they have a bad day of fishing, they're still hanging around to see their housemates and roommates, they did, and all that stuff.
Well, we want to make sure that me and Ron are on the press release, whatever it might be, Paul. We want to keep up with you guys, whether it's on our website here, Facebook, whatever it might be, as we go into our 25th year. It's kind of ironic. It's in 2025 that we celebrate 25 years. And you guys, I would think with 118 anglers, 40 payouts per event. That's not a bad percentage, Paul.
That's great.
Yeah, we're happy. I shouldn't say happy with the payouts. Like all the money we got's in the payouts. If that makes any sense.
It does.
And from an angler standpoint, you know, as we add sponsors, as we add more to the bottom line, we are continuing to grow those payouts and add to those payouts on the angler's behalf.
What about the coverage? Now you were talking about when you roll into
people want to watch.
Yeah, people want to watch some of the things. So tell us how we can watch it online.
So this year we changed it up to where we brought all the production in-house.
Okay.
We've got a sister company that's started up, Fulcom Media, that Brad Fuller's heading up and running. We got a long-time industry gentleman working with us on that, and Mike Otten. He's been around for years and years and does a great job. But we are taking more of a shotgun approach this year. You're going to be able to watch it on Facebook, YouTube. There's going to be multiple avenues to watch it, but the easiest way is just to go to the website, the nationalprofessionalfishingleague.com, or you can just type in tnpfl.com and click through the links on the website, and then pick your favorite format from there. You know, you'll have some folks that want to watch it on YouTube, some folks that want to watch it on Facebook or some of the other streaming services, but it's all free and hopefully more accessible than what we've done in the past. We will hit some learning curves. They're doing the online training for the production equipment now and getting everything dialed in and making sure, but we're just hoping it all runs smooth and everybody has a good...
It's going to, Paul.
Paul, we're running out of time.
Yeah.
But if somebody wants more information on the National Professional
Give them that website again.
What's the website?
Yeah, give that website again, Paul.
The website's the nationalprofessionalfishingleague.com or tnpfl.com, and it is one of our best resources. We've got a lot of great angler articles. That really is where you can get the fastest information that we put out. It always goes out on the website first. Our website manager, Ray Otterson, and the team of folks that put together the content do a great job to get it out. And you can check everything out there. We've got the Weigh Live tracker throughout the events, and then the live leaderboard through the weigh-ins and all that stuff is available on the website as well.
All right, Paul.
NationalProfessionalFishingLeague.com.
D, folks, don't leave out that D. You'll be going to Nigeria if you do. Okay, all right. Paul, thank you, buddy. We'll talk to you down the road. Like I say, we're going to stay in touch. Okay,
we'll be in touch.
Yeah.
Appreciate y'all, gents. Have a great day.
All right, have a great day. Let's take a break on Outdoors with Larry Ray. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray, brought to you by the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency, B&M Poles, and Ducks Unlimited.
Hey, good Saturday morning. Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on AM 790 right here in Memphis every Saturday morning from 9 to 10:30. Of course, 1520 AM, 95.3 FM in Brownsville from 6 to 7:30, and in Jackson, Tennessee on News Talk 101.5 from 6:30 to 8. This is second Saturday. We don't have bonus Wong. We got Wong in here right now.
Hey, good morning, everybody.
There's the Wong, man.
Yeah, I got to tell you, it's a nice Saturday morning.
We've already done an hour. Do you believe that?
Wow.
And Guy Trebo's still awake over here.
Yeah, sure am.
My interpreter. There he is.
And you know, one thing we need to do today.
What today?
Before we go off air.
What's that?
For this show.
What?
Is pick a Super Bowl winner.
I know you do that. We're going to pick the Bird Dog winners.
We already did that.
No, we haven't announced our choices.
Okay.
We're going to announce that. We can pick the Super Bowl. Well, who's playing this year? No, I know. All right, we got a young man on right now. We always love to talk crappie fishing. You folks know that, particularly when you got somebody from right here in our area, from Horn Lake, Mississippi. And, Ron, won't you introduce this young man? Let's talk some fishing.
Thank you, Larry. I will do. Hey, our next guest is a professional crappie angler who is also a B&M pro staffer.
Yay,
B&M. Tournaments and
yeah.
everything else. And good friend, Jason Cook. Good morning, Jason.
Good morning, Ron. How are you this morning?
Doing great, buddy. And I got to tell you, first of all, it was so good to see you at the Grizzly Jig Show. I guess it was last week. And
did you take Jason's picture? Did you get a picture?
Oh yeah, we got pictures of Jason.
All right, we got into a good picture of Jason. He's aged a lot, this rugged life. This young man he's going right now here. But
that's right.
Talk about that Grizzly Jig Show, Jason. You've been there before. Talk about what that experience. I get Wong's experiences, but what about yours?
Man, it's a great turnout. I was there Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Yes. Yeah.
It runs through Sunday, and man, it's just thousands of people there wanting to talk about fishing. We have a lot of seminars and just a lot of trading secrets going on out there.
Oh, they actually give secrets away, huh? Okay, I got to ask. Wade Mansfield never told me that, but anyway, I know it's Ron. We got a lot of folks that over 10,000 people. That doubles the population of Caruthersville, Missouri.
Yeah, every year.
That's amazing. And Ron has done an excellent job of photographs. We've already posted on Larry Ray. I almost said the old website, LarryRay.com, REA.com. But now Ron we're going to post some videos. Is that right, Guy? We're going to get some videos on
we're going to get some videos up.
All right.
But Jason, one of the things that you do also is you are one of the feature guides with John Harrison, JH Guide Service. Is that correct?
Got to get down
there. That is correct.
And, you've been doing this for some number of years, and I've had the opportunity to sit in your boat with you. And I got to tell you, Larry.
I got to go.
You need to go with Jason.
I know I do.
He has got a brand new.
What?
Big, bright red
Ranger
red? Boat. It looks like an Arkansas red.
Oh, now he wouldn't say that, but I would. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But I got to tell you, a super comfortable boat.
Yeah. What's it equipped with? I want to know what's in Jason Cook's boat.
How many screens you got on
it?
it?
Tell us what you got in that boat, Jason.
So at the helm, I've got a 16-inch Apex.
Oh,
and on the bow, I have a 13-inch Apex and a 16-inch Garmin.
Oh, man.
The LS.
That's bigger than my first 34. TV. Okay, go ahead now. So,
it's all fitted out with cornfield fishing gear for the mounts.
Yeah.
And we got performance electronics, electronics brakes.
What kind of motor? What do you got in that thing?
As a 250 Mercury Pro XS.
Wow.
Absolute. Beautiful boat. Beautiful boat.
Yeah, I'm going to get one of those when I grow up.
And, I suggest to everybody, this is the time of year that you need to start booking a guide. I mean, it's not too early to even start next week to start crappie fishing, right? Jason, I mean, they spawn here in a month, and the pre-spawn is always good in there.
What'd you say, Jason? Say it again.
About the 1st of April.
Okay, 1st of April. Now, and your lakes, I mean, you're out of Horn Lake. I got to ask you, how did you get into this real quickly? Because I'm always fascinated by local kids. Did you grow up in the Horn Lake area?
I did, yeah. My grandpa used to take me fishing with bandit crankbaits back in the 80s.
Bandit crankbaits.
Yeah.
Wow, that's out of Batesville. Chris, what was his name?
Batesville, Chris.
But I've been down there. Bandit baits. I haven't heard that in a long time.
Chris Ross.
Chris Ross, yeah. And so that's where you cut your teeth in? And
yeah, we had 80-pound mono with 20-foot cane poles and 3-ounce egg sinkers.
Yeah. So you're living the dream then, right? I mean,
oh, yeah.
That's pretty amazing.
Now, you like to fish the I-55 lakes, if you will.
Yeah.
And so and you will guide on any of them, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Sardis, Aided, Grenadas, primarily where I guide.
All right. Now, one of the things that you got, you provide all the rods and reels that people need.
So what do we use?
And what are you using now?
What are you using now, Jason?
Right now, we're using the 18-foot Black Diamond, the B&M Black Diamond.
Oh, yeah.
And I've got Gamma braid on there, and we're using a slab magnet made by Crappie Magnet and an eye-hole jig.
Yeah.
That's what we're using right now.
And then you use a lot of different rods by B&M also, don't you? Talk a little bit about how you will switch up based on what the crappie are doing on a certain day.
Yeah.
What are the rods and reels that you may be using?
So my favorite long pole is the 18-footer. If I'm fishing a light jig, I like the BGJP 16-footer.
Mm-hmm.
And I do the same thing, put a light weight on there, get it out there in front of the fish.
18 feet will go across the Ron. I can hit Ron on the nose right now. If I
yeah, you could. Yeah.
But the thing about that, I'm thinking about that's lightweight though, right? I mean, that's an 18-
foot rod
that
has
what?
It's called the Black Diamond by B&M. Well, it weighs, what, about 10.5 ounces?
Yeah.
I think 12 ounces, Ron.
12 ounces,
Isn't
that's
that-
right.
Okay, go ahead. Go
Yep,
ahead.
yep.
I'm just fascinated by how B&M can
3/4
make
of a pound.
How can they
And
make
you also use some of their combos, too, like the 75th anniversary stuff.
Oh, yeah.
When the
Yeah,
fish...
that's my favorite, the 75 series. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like throwing heavy jigs with it. I'll also run a Gamma Ice Torque braid,
Okay,
6
yeah.
pound on it.
Yeah.
It's that ceramic infused line really lets it flow through the guides real well. You can throw the heavier jig with it.
What's a slab to Jason Cook?
I ain't think over, 175, 2 pounds.
I go for that.
Fish.
I go for that.
That's a big fish, yeah. Jason, this time of the year,
Yeah.
pre-spawn,
Get ready.
water is getting ready to start rising and rising fast. What would you do if you were going fishing tomorrow?
Yeah. It's pretty unpredictable.
Tomorrow I'd start targeting them, about 10 foot of water probably, 8 to 10 foot of water.
All right.
And open flats, just out there on the flats. I mean, maybe in the very beginning of the mouth of the creeks there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they won't be that deep they'll be eaten either because of the color of the water. The water's going to be pretty stained, isn't it?
And water's, visibility is going to be horrible, about 2 to 3 inches.
Yeah.
Max.
Yeah.
If you get the sunshine, top of that water will start warming up, and the fish will sit 2 or 3 feet under the water, just sitting there sunning.
All right. Now, what color crappie magnet would you use, or what would the colors be of your jig and everything?
So I like the orange and chartreuse slab magnet, the big profile bait with an orange head,
Right.
orange eye-hole jig.
Yeah.
Or the Wizard's Glow, which is a lime and chartreuse with a pink head.
Ah, okay.
Those are my 2 go-tos.
I got to ask you now. You just said what you said was a slab, 1 3/4, 2 pounds. What's the biggest crappie you caught then? What's your personal best?
My personal best is a 334.
Okay.
The biggest crappie I've got was a 350 on Grenada a couple of years ago.
Wow.
350 was
That's
the big-
huge.
That's and that's just amazing. And as it was old Grenada. So where do you think is the next world record going to be caught? I got to ask you that because everybody's been eating. They've all seen that replica of what's his name down there? I can't remember his name now. That had
Fred Bright.
Fred
Fred
Bright.
Bright, yeah.
Everybody knows
5
Fred Bright.
point,
Yeah.
5.6,
5.6.
5 pounds, 4 ounce
Yeah.
white crappie.
Yeah. So where do you think the next record is going to be caught down there, Jason?
I'd have to say Grenada now. I used to say Alka Butler, but it's dried up. So
Arca Butler is no more. That's a whole sad situation.
And
there.
I hate to say this,
What, Ron?
but I think the next world's record may be out of Clear Lake, California.
Oh, Ron.
that's a good thought. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a big one.
Can we cut that out, Shelby? Can we just whittle that out and put in something else in place of Ron? He's going to go to California. Is that in the Delta out there?
No.
Ron? Okay.
It's Northern California.
Okay, it's not the Delta. I want to make sure.
But,
Ron grew up in the Delta.
Now,
All right,
Jason,
we got a couple of minutes now. We got to find out how to get in touch with him, Ron. Get
Yeah,
that
if
down.
somebody wants to book you,
Yes.
how do they do that?
You look us up on Facebook at JH Guide Service, or you can call us at 662-983-5999.
All right, Ron, we're going to book a trip with Jason sometime in April. He just told us that now. We've got to do it in a hurry now, Ron. So you're going to set this up.
We can go.
Okay.
And, come April.
He's laughing right now, but I'm telling
But
I'm
you know what?
serious.
Here's the thing, Larry.
Does he take anybody over 80 in his boat? I just want to make sure.
Well, but let me tell you, Larry.
I don't
the
mean
great
80
thing is
What?
it'll be daylight savings time.
Oh, yeah.
And there are days when Jason has a real job and he gets off early afternoon.
That's what we want.
We'll
Ron.
just meet him there at the boat ramp.
That's it, because Ron ain't going to
Let's
get
do
up
it.
early, Jason. Okay, I'm
Let's
with
do it.
him. All right, buddy. Thanks for being with us, Jason Cook. And
We're going to be in touch with you.
we got your number, Jason. Okay? All right.
Thanks for having me.
All right, buddy. Have a great one. All right, let's take a break on Outdoors with Larry Ray. Wrap this baby up with duck bands. And I'm not talking about instruments and everything, Ron. Don't get worried over that, okay? Not this kind of band. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray, brought to you by the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency, B&M Poles, and Ducks Unlimited.
Hey, good Saturday morning. Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry. I wish some of y'all could be in on some of this because, sometimes we get along. We have to cut off. We have to cut people off. I never thought about cutting us off, but we may have to do that sometime. But when you're doing 90 minutes, what we call the fastest 90 minutes in outdoor radio programming, Guy Trebo, he keeps me vertical over here trying to help me, but is our webmaster. And, of course, Mr. Wong is over there making faces at me and all like that. But
always.
And this is a segment that I kind of wanted to talk about. Next week's show, this is kind of a teaser. What do we call these? Segway? Is that what that is? Or that was a place to eat someplace? No, a Safeway. No, this is a segue. We're going to kind of wrap up the duck season on Outdoors with Larry Ray next week. We got the legendary Pat Pitt's going to be on the show. This is his 62nd duck season, waterfowl season. And we're going to talk to John Gordon, Frank Barton. So my friend, Ron's friend, a fellow member of the Tennessee Outdoor Writers Association, he and his wife Pam have been longtime friends of all of us, and that's Richard Hines out of Edmonton, Kentucky, not Canada, Edmonton, Kentucky, the man that makes maple syrup. And we're going to take a break because he has written a story, Richard has, for Mossy Oak Gamekeepers about duck bands. And I said, I got to get Richard on just to kind of tease for next week's show. But first of all, good Saturday morning, Richard. Thanks for being with us, buddy.
Larry, Ron, great talking to both of you. I hope you're having a great morning.
We are. It's been fun. Well, we're taking a break from fishing. You know, when Ron's on, that's all we talk about is fishing.
Yeah.
It's a wonder he's not eating fish over there right now. But let's talk about this story because I was fascinated. You really did some research on it, and because I recognize some names in the story because we all read Gamekeepers from Mossy Oak, and we've read that for a long time. Then I think about the names that you brought up in your story, John James Audubon, and of course Jack Miner. I have written about him. When I got my only duck band, and I left it at home, folks. It's still in the plastic bag because I got it on the leg of the duck, and I researched where that duck came from, and I was just shocked. But talk about this story, Richard, because undoubtedly you really you did some really research. So kind of give us a scan of what the story's about.
Well, first of all, I banded a lot of ducks. You know, I was a wildlife biologist for 39 years.
That's right. Yes.
A lot of my career, I trapped and banded lots of ducks. Mainly, if you ask a biologist what kind of ducks they're banding, it kind of depends on where, what part of the country they're working in and what the
wood ducks, black ducks.
Black ducks, wood ducks, a lot of Canada geese.
Yeah.
Probably I banded more Canadas than anything, and that's we had big flocks of them in Kentucky, and of course we had a captive audience. They molt in the summer.
That's right.
Flightless, and we would round them up and band hundreds at a time. So. As a matter of fact, I probably got a couple of those bands hanging on my lanyard that came out of some of those bandings we did. Yeah. And shooting, the early season Canadas and whatnot. But duck banding has given us a lot of information.
And it's
just incredible. You mentioned John James Audubon. He was the first guy in North America to band birds. And
I did not know that. Yeah.
Yeah, there was a little songbird that came onto his farm called an eastern phoebe, and he would catch them and put silver rings or silver wire around their legs.
Silver wire.
They would migrate, and he saw them, coming back.
Yeah.
But one guy that really started, you mentioned Jack Miner. He was the first one to start trapping ducks and putting bands on them.
Yeah.
And he had by the way, he had a Bible verse on.
I know that. Yes.
Yeah, and each one had his Bible verse and his return address. So he caught some ducks, banded them in 1909. In 1910, one of his bands was returned from a duck hunter in South Carolina.
And we're talking about he's from Ontario, Kingsville, Ontario. And so
he did all of his banding in Ontario. He sure did.
Amazing.
Now here's what bands have taught us. Now, really, the banding program that we're used to now, that we're familiar with, really got cranked up in 1935.
Okay, all right.
And since then, there's been about 14 million ducks, geese, and swans banded.
Did y'all hear that?
Wow. How many?
14 million.
14 million. Now,
wow.
That's just in North America. Now we hadn't got.
Well, just back up a little bit. Every year, at some point, every state agency, U.S. Fish and Wildlife, everybody combined, will ban around 250,000 ducks, geese, and swans every year.
That's just amazing.
How many?
250,000 every year.
That's
250,000. And the reason you've written about this, what do we find? What's the basic for the duck ban?
Well, number one, you get age.
You do, yes.
When you trap a duck, like when I was trapping, say, wood ducks over on White River Refuge, I worked over there around 10 years.
Right.
We capture a duck, we age it. Number one, you record, is it a male or a female?
Yeah.
Was it hatched that year or was it an adult? And if it's an adult, you can't really age it precisely. But if it's a young, of the year, you write that year down. You know exactly how old that bird was the day he flies away.
That's amazing.
So you have all that information. That band is recorded in Washington, D.C. in the U.S. Geological Survey banding lab. They coordinate everything. And when you call that band in, that number shows up, and they know immediately who banded it, where it was banded, and what year it was banded.
And the thing about this, duck hunters, I know our waterfowl hunters wear these bands proudly.
Oh,
because I got friends that have never got a band. I got my one, and I think two other guys said they got it too, but it was mine. I got it, So
well, possession is 9/10.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
But it's I know people have got I don't know how many, but it is part of your the mystique of waterfowl hunting.
It really is. It is a trophy, no doubt about it.
Is that what you found when you wrote this for gamekeepers? Did you find some new things, Richard? Because I know you, in your career, is not just a writer, but your career in the field and whatever it might have been.
Well, I started out as a duck hunter.
I know you did. Yes,
I duck hunted those Green River bottom and Pond River bottoms up in Kentucky where I grew up, and shot lots of ducks. And I never shot a banded duck the whole time when I was a kid.
You did? Okay.
No, never did. I got one when I was in college in the 70s, and that was my first one. And the odds of getting them sometimes are pretty slim depending on where you hunt.
I was going to say, it depends on where you hunt.
Yeah. Certain areas kind of lend themselves a little bit better to getting a few more bands because you're kind of in the center of the flyway.
Well, the Mississippi Flyway, I mean, we're blessed to be here. And I don't know if one flyway's got more bands than any other flyway. I would
assume
I would think the Mississippi Flyway would be number one. I don't know, but
well, they banned them in along the Pacific Coast,
that's
the Atlantic
true.
Coast, Central Flyway, and when we used to ban ducks, we would have a quota every year. They might say we would like you to ban, say, 200 juvenile wood ducks.
Okay, now you got to trap these, and these in the summer.
That's a lot of work.
It's in the summertime, folks. I have I've been on one of those. It's not in a pleasant place. Okay, isn't that right, Richard? I mean, you got a lot of no shoulders, everything. Yeah, it's but
it's hot, humid, mosquitoes. And then you have to get your bait site ready, which takes sometimes weeks.
Yes, it does.
Yeah. And your quota may be 200 juveniles. Well, you may have to catch 200-300 ducks
to get that quota.
Wow.
To get that quota. Of course, you band everything that you get, but you're banding a lot of
that's a lot of work.
As well as it really is. It takes up a lot of time. Now, when I was up on Cross Creeks, up in towards land between the lakes on the Cumberland River, our focus up there was black ducks. So we were a part of a big nationwide project banding black ducks.
Wow.
And trying to see. And some of the things that we've learned from this, the one thing that kind of jumped out at me came out this year, looking at 60 years worth of band returns.
Yeah.
We're seeing that the primary wintering area for mallards has shifted a few hundred miles north.
Really?
Okay. Really?
We've seen
global warming. Is that because of global warming?
This changes that are going on, and it's not just mallards, but mallards have changed their wintering area in the Mississippi Flyway. Green-winged teal and pintails have both slightly shifted north on what we considered this is their main wintering area.
Well, we're running out of time, Richard. So they can get this. This is in the Gamekeepers magazine, Mossy Oak. Of course, Richard is also an agent for Mossy Oak Properties in Kentucky, and I don't mind throwing that in there. So where can they go through Mossy Oak to find the copy of this, right, Richard?
Yes, you can get the latest one. And I might say, as an old duck hunter, as an old biologist, old duck hunter now, if you got a band, turn it in. Only about 50% of these bands are ever reported.
Really?
Oh, and that information is so valuable. Mm-hmm. And you get a certificate that tells you where that bird
I got
was
mine.
Banded.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
And when and where it was banded. And by the way, didn't mention this. The oldest duck known that was banded was a mallard, 27 years old.
Wow.
All right, think of that, Richard. We got to go, buddy. Thank you. Wonderful interview. All right, buddy. We'll get back to you together and everything. Tell Pam hello and have a safe weekend. Okay, Richard Hines. All right.
Let's fish soon.
Okay, Richard. Thank you, buddy. Richard Hines.
Bye-bye.
All right. Let me quickly tell you about next week's show, because we're going to talk ducks, as I told you earlier. We're going to talk ducks on next week's show, and hopefully Pat Pitt and his son Steven will be on the show. We're going to talk with Jamie Rouse and the Mid-South Fly Fisher. He's coming to Memphis for a big deal. John Gordon, Frank Barton will be our co-host, and now's the time. All right, we're picking the Super Bowl real quickly. Who we picking?
Philly.
Kansas City. All right, here comes the winner of the Bird Dog starting Monday. All right, Guy Trebo, Game Hair. Okay, Fred Corder, Game Hair. All right, Ron Wong, Lester Storm Surge. Gary Lester, I'm picking Lester's Shockwave with Gary Lester, and we'll be talking about that.
Yep.
Shelby McCall, thank you for taking care of us. Mr. Trebo, thank you for dropping by.
Yep. Great
Ron, we'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Yep.
And we'll be right back. And this is Larry Ray telling you, as I do each and every week, it doesn't cost an extra cent to be a good sport. What else? God bless the USA.